program, madam.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thanks for giving opportunity to our scientist Kavita and Pratap, madam. You have
Yes, madam.
my request.
Madam, meeting inka jarutunda, madam?
Continuing,
Yes,
meeting, continue.
Madam, inka meeting lone unnaru madam.
Avuna.
ఇంకాము తొందరగా చెప్పాలి సార్.
అది ఇప్పుడు అవ్వదు మేడం. మనం స్టార్ట్
ఎడిషన్ ఇన్వైట్ చేస్తే అది అక్కడికి ఆగిపోతుంది.
సార్ కూడా జాయిన్ అవుతారు మేడం. షూర్, సార్ కూడా జాయిన్ అవుతారు. థింక్ Hey, how are you?
Tani.
Yeah, this man.
Michitani.
Michitani, man.
I'm good, sir. How?
Yeah, Tani.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah, you switch on your video. I want to see your face also.
Oh.
Yes. How are you all, sir?
Yeah, fine, Michi. So
it's good to see you all, sir.
Yes.
Hello, Tani. How are you?
I'm good, madam. How are you, ma'am?
We are all fine.
Where are you now? What you are doing now?
Now, just recently I've completed my master's, ma'am.
Okay.
And I got admitted in Kashmir for PhD.
Okay. Nice. Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Just keep talking about our university, our college.
Sure, sir. Yeah, okay, and
wherever you go.
For your webinar, sir. Okay.
Oh, he has uploaded so many videos of our college moments.
Yes, ma'am.
That video shows you all. The YouTube videos.
Yes, I used to miss the college a lot, sir.
Definitely. So, how is the COVID problem in your place?
It's good, sir. It's not a very serious case now. It's normal.
Okay. Nice to see you, Tani.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Please follow this campus.
Yes, sure, sir.
Sir, shall we request our associate deans to start the program, sir?
I think associate deans are not yet joined, madam. Sir is still in meeting.
Madam, who is the introducing staff, ma'am?
Yeah, myself, madam. Don't worry.
Oh, sir. No, sir. Well, next time, sir, ki cheyman chepdavani. Sorry.
Sir joined, ma'am.
తెలుసు కదా మేడం.
Join అయ్యారు సార్.
One minute. మధుమతి గారు. గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ అండి.
సార్ మాస్క్ తీసేయండి సార్ ఇప్పుడు. మీటింగ్ లో ఉన్నారు.
Good afternoon and welcome to Citrus Graduate Readiness Program. I think you are also associated in this program, and this is one of the flagship programs organized by Dr. YSR Horticulture University and our college, College of Horticulture, Anantarajpeta, is organizing this program for the last 2 months. For the benefit of the final year students who are in ELP and RAVE program. I think this is the 27th lecture, na? Swaraj Lakshmar. Is it 27th?
28.
Okay. In a series of 30 lectures planned for this program, I think today we are very fortunate that Dr. Madhumathi, a senior person who has the experience in working citrus crop, and she also worked at College of Horticulture, Anantarajapeta for a quite long period, and she has rich experience in fruit crops. Particularly, she has expertise in citrus crop also. So that's why we invited her for today's program. I extend hearty welcome Dr. Madhumathi garu to this citrus graduate readiness program. I think participants are ready now. You can proceed further, and may now request Dr. Shamsundar Reddy garu to kindly introduce our today's guest speaker to the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir. Good evening, all, sir. Good evening, all the participants. And today's speaker, Dr. C. Madhumathi, who is familiar to this place. And it's my privilege to read out the credentials and biodata of Dr. C. Madhumathi. Dr. C. Madhumathi has obtained her BSc Agriculture and MS Agriculture from ISU Agriculture College, Tirupati. And she has completed her PhD program in characterization of genetic diversity of sweet orange using the morphological and molecular markers from Rajendra Nagar campus. She started her career first as a training assistant, and she worked for 8 months or so in Krishi Vigyan Kendram at near Tirupati, Karkambadi and Ross. Then later, she has joined as an horticultural officer for a period of 5 years in the Department of Horticulture, State Department of Horticulture in Railway Kodur Division. And during that period, she is actually involved in familiarizing the technologies, involved in introducing the tissue culture techniques for the first time in this Kodur region, and adoption of drip systems. And she has introduced some high yielding varieties and hybrids of vegetables also in this place. And later, she was first appointed as assistant horticulturist in Angru in 1998. And later on, she held in different positions as scientist, senior scientist, and agriculture at Agriculture Research Station. Now it is Horticulture Research Station in Anantarajapeta. She worked as an in charge of commercial nursery for nearly 10 years at this place, HRS Anantarajapeta. Where she has involved in income generation activities with involving the fundraising activities. She took initiative in introducing some grafting techniques in nursery and mango, particularly in the mango and sapota. And she has maintained some cyan blocks of Goa, cultivars Allahabad, Safeda, Lalit, and mango cultivar Bangalore in HRS Anantarajapeta. And she was posted as head of the institute by the Horticulture University to establish and start a new research station in Anantarajapeta during 2012. And she has succeeded in achieving their expectations in establishing the full horticulture research station in this campus by acquiring some 22 acres of land from the College of Horticulture, Anantarajapeta. And she is also involved in some RKOA schemes. She got financial assistance for the multiplication and supply of quality materials of mango and guava. It's continuously for 3 years. And she got accreditation to the horticulture nursery with a 2-star rating. And she has also helped in acquiring the AACRP project at HRS Anantarajapeta. And she performed all the duties to the best of his abilities in the AACRP for 2 years. And she was also involved in the initiation of research programs and development of crop production technologies, particularly in fruit crops like banana, mango, papaya, and some vegetables also like onion and muskmelon. And she has a huge collection of germ blossom, particularly in banana around 25 accessions, and muskmelon 50 accessions, and chrysanthemum 90 accessions, gladiolus 32 accessions, and tuberose 18 accessions. And further, she took the responsibilities in implementing the different schemes to strengthen the resuscitation at HRS Anantarajpeta, like some RKV projects and centrally sponsored horticulture schemes in increasing the farm receipts, and created the infrastructure facilities and strengthened the station with the mechanization to meet the labor scarcity in the horticulture station. So she served as a teacher for 3 years in College of Horticulture. And during that period, she used to teach UG courses and PG courses in Fruit Science Department. And she has involved in teaching and guiding the PG students. So there are 10 UG courses she has completed and 8 PG courses at COH Anantarajpeta. And totally, she has guided 2 PhD students and 8 MSc students as a major chairman. And she is also acting as a member of the advisory committee for 10 more PG students. So she initiated the establishment of Fruit Science Department in this College of Horticulture, Anantarajpeta, during the 2018-19 with the ICR funds. And she was instrumental.
శ్యామ్ గారు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి. శ్యామ్ గారు, హలో శ్యామ్. శ్యామ్ గారు, అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి శ్యామ్ గారు.
Farm Mechanization College during her tenure as a farm superintendent. Further, she has also worked as a OAM PG for a particular period of time during our stay at College of Horticulture. So she started a separate PG section in this campus, and she also involved in creation of infrastructure facilities and furniture facilities for PG classrooms and for PG section. Presently, she is working as the head of the station at Citrus Station, Petlur, and she was involved in solving the shortage of irrigation and also water problems in the Citrus Station, Petlur. And also she is involved in creating the revenue generation for commercial nursery by enhancing the production of planting material. And she is a very familiar person for the Nellore district people particularly. So this station, Citrus Station, Petlur, actually producing the citrus seedlings, and she is selling the produce from the research station. And for the growers of Nellore district, so she is motivating to increase the area under citrus. So she's also been awarded with 3 gold medals. One is with during her PG. So for outstanding MSc horticulture students, she is awarded with the Bergamot gold medal at College of SV Agriculture College, Tirupati. She is also recipient of Sri Kasu Brahmananda Reddy gold medal for the university first topper in MSc horticulture. So she is also recipient of Padma Shri Dr. I.V. Subbarao Right Nestam Award during the year 2018. So further, she is also awarded with Achiever Award during the year 2017 by Sadhana Society for Advancement of Human Nature Awards, Dr. Y.S. Parmar, University of Horticulture and Forestry, Solan. So as a team leader, participated in All India and state mango shows and got more than 30 prizes for her registration. So she received certificates of appreciation for from the university for research publications from the peer-reviewed NAS rating journals during the year 2021. She has also received the certificate of appreciation from the university for outstanding performance in production of plant material, and placed in 4th position category A for the year 2021. And recently she has received the Best Poster Award during the 28th, 29th January 22 conclude organized by the Andhra Agriculture Union, Bapatla. So totally she has handled both external and funded projects, more than 10 projects, both external and internal funded projects. And to her capacity, the research papers, totally more than 45 research papers to her credit, with 16 papers, abstracts published in various journals. And she has wrote a book called Pasupu Sagu Marganirdeshanam during January 2016. And apart from that, she has vast experience in radio talks, more than 25 radio talks he has given, and training programs, more than 100 training programs attended various to the farmers, and more than 15 TV programs he has attended, and line-in programs 3. So total around 8, more than 8 national seminars attended, and she is the life member of the Horticulture Society of India. So now I request all the participants to make use of the today's speaker, Dr. C. Madhumathi. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to read the biodata of our Dr. C. Madhumathi garu, and thank you, madam.
Thank you,
Madam, Lakshmi, madam, please.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Shyam Sundar, for reading the one, for welcoming our guest speaker today. Now I request Madhumathi ma'am to address the participants.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. First of all, I should thank the organizers, especially the Associate Dean of College of Horticulture, Anantarajpeta, Dr. B. Srinivasu sir, and also all other organizers, Dr. K. Swarajlakshmi madam, and all other teaching staff of College of Horticulture, Anantarajpeta. And a special thanks to Shyam Sundar Reddy for reading my biodata patiently. So may I start the topic? First, I will share the screen. Please, madam, inform me whether it is visible or not.
Yes, madam, visible. It is visible.
So because my internet speed is low, I will stop the video sharing, and I will again start after the finishing of the talk. So, good evening to all the participants to this today's stress graduation program. And once again, I'm thankful to all the organizers for giving these, for making me as a member of this program. So today's topic is classification of citrus. So I think all the students are final year graduates and MSc and PhD students. I think you all come across this topic when you are in UG and PG. So let us have some brush up of this knowledge, and we can also see the advances made in the citrus classification in the recent years. Before going into the topic, let us have a short discussion. We all know that citrus is globally grown in area of 11.42 million hectares with a production of 179 million tons. And China is the major producer of the citrus fruits, and followed by it is Brazil, and India is in third place. And if you observe, most of the commercial citrus cultivars which are used as cyan, and also the citrus cultivars as rootstocks, most of them are belonging to genus Citrus, and only very few from Fortunella genus and also Poincerus, which are used as rootstock only in all over the world. And if you see the grouping of the citrus cultivars, so worldwidely, these citrus cultivars are divided into a well-defined horticulture groups like sweet oranges, mandarins, grapefruits and pomelos, and common acid members. So if you observe this, many of the citrus varieties are chance finds. That means they are originated by natural hybridization from natural populations. So there is a lot of diversity in the citrus genus. So briefly, if you see the citrus classification, it is the scientific classification, it belongs to Sapinidalis. Earlier it was added in Zidaniales. Later on it is grouped under order Sapinidalis, family Rutaceae, subfamily Rhyntoideae. If you see that the genus citrus contains different kinds of and different types. They differ in fruit characters, flower characters, and leaves. So when this is the classification is termed when we group the different kinds of citrus into groups, we call it as a classification. And by giving a particular valid name to that group is called as nomenclature. In general, there is a definite international rules for nomenclature, but there is no such rules for classification. That's why several scientists have tried to classify genus citrus, and the classification one accepts is of its own choice, personal choice, based on the quality and common usage of the fruits and natural relationship between the different kinds of citrus. So because of complexity in the genus citrus, like huge morphological diversity and extraordinary ability of the citrus to combine with other species and related genera, it has created so many confusions to the early taxonomists. So that's why classification of genus is always a very complicated one and a problematic one. I will try my level best to make this topic more understood by the students. So since 19th century, several taxonomists have tried their own way to classify the genus citrus. So many scholars in the past and also present also tried to give some solutions to this problem, which will be agreeable to one and all, but that was not happened till to date. There is always some merits and demerits in each classification, but with the recent advance in the technology, with the introduction of this biotechnology, bioinformatics, and the development of this phylogenomic data, there was some understanding and solutions were arrived for this confusion in the recent research. So before going into the topic, let us have a small description of this botanic traits of the citrus species. Especially, we all know that citrus fruits are Hesperidia, but these Hesperidae are mostly confined to the fruits of Orantidae family or subfamily. Here, Hesperidia means the fleshy parts of the fruit is divided into segments which are surrounded by a separable skin. A scaly skin will be there to separate each segments. And if you observe the seeds are generally flattened or ovoid. They are mostly attached to the central axis. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay, thank you. These seeds are generally attached to the central axis. In the center, that is the central axis or central core. The seed cover will be sometimes smooth and most of the times, and sometimes it will be rigid with the seed coats, and the embryo present will be one or many. So that is a peculiar character in citrus. That is, they are monoembryonic and polyembryonic. I think you all know that what is the polyembryonic means. It will have more number of embryos. One may be the zygotic embryo, and other embryos were developed from a nucellar tissues. Then coming to the segments. So the segments are filled with juicy vesicles. They are usually stalked and pulpy juicy vesicles. They are the economic part of the plant, that is fruit. And these segments are again surrounded by a endocarp, white endocarp, which are called as albedo. And this outer side of this there will be a peel known as flavido, which contains numerous oil glands. So you can see here, this is the outer peel, which you can observe several oil glands. And then coming to fruit, fruit generally forms from a fragrant flowers. Generally, they will be born singly, or sometimes they will be in a small racemes like inflorescence, which contains 5 to 6 flowers. And the flowers types, if you observe, citrus families, the citrus species generally contains perfect and staminate flowers. Here, the staminate flowers are mainly due to abortion of the pistil. And if you see, calyx will be a cup-shaped, and there will be 4 to 8 petals, which will be in white or pink in color. And if you observe the stamens, they are generally 4 to 8 times, 4 times more than the petals, or sometimes it will be up to 10 times as many as the petals. These stamens are generally free, or they are basally coherent in, that means they're basally joined as petals. So this, then coming to the tree structure, most of the citrus trees are evergreen in nature. That means they are very small trees with evergreen nature. Generally, they will grow up to 3 to 10 meters. And if you observe the young branches, in general, the young branches are in flat and angled. But later on, as the age go on, the branches will become round or cylindrical. And another character is the presence of spines or thorns. So generally, the thorns are present in the axils of the leaves. It may be singly or rarely they are paired. And you can see in the figure, the leaves are unifoliate, except which will having petiole wings, prominent petiole wings in some species, and some are with narrow wings, or some there is no wingless also. Wingless petioles will be observed. And if you see the leaf blade also, they are like subleathery or leathery, and they also contain numerous fragrant oil glands. So this is briefly about botanical types of the citrus genus. And if you see the most of the earlier taxonomists are, they will classify the genus citrus by taking several criteria. And major criteria they have observed in the earlier days was morphological characters. So morphological characters are taken into consideration for classification. So in plant characters, they observed hardiness to the cold, and also the habit and how height of the plant and nature of the thorns and mode of branching, and several other characters are also taken into consideration. Coming to, these are the list of the characters which were taken as the criteria for classification. There is a lot of variation in leaf characters in among the species in the genus Citrus. As we meant, we have there is petiole wings are very broad in some species, some are narrow, and leaf shapes are different, and some species will be having trifoliate leaves. And they have also taken consideration of the aroma of the crushed leaves also. And then other characters, general characters are also taken into consideration. And in floral characters also, they have observed that is flower type, and then how, whether it is single or in crowded, or how the stamens are free or united. And all these are the list of characters which were taken into consideration for classification. And coming to fruit characters also, both the external characters and internal characters are taken, like shape of the fruit, and then what is the rind, how it is, the rind is whether rough or smooth, and size of the fruit, and presence of areole rings, and persistent of style. All these are taken into consideration for classification. In the internal characters, one is nature of rind, whether it is its thickness of the rind was taken into consideration, and firmness, and also adherence to the fruit, the peel adherence to the fruit, and presence of oil glands in the outer peel is also taken into consideration. And what are the number of segments present is also one criteria for classification. Coming to internal characters, like pulp color, and then peel thickness, and presence of acid sugar acid ratio, and juice, and then seed characters. So what is the number of seeds? Because if there is less number, it is an economic importance, and size of the seed, and presence of absence of acrid oil in the juice vesicles. So this is the character which decides the fruit whether it is edible or inedible. So if acrid oil is present in the juice vesicles, the fruits cannot be consumed. And you can see the this is the central axis. This is also taken into consideration. So in some species it will be solid, and in some species it will be hollow. So then color of the pulp is also taken in. Apart from these, some miscellaneous characters like fruiting season, whether it is early variety or mid-season variety or late variety. Similarly, quality ranking and other general horticultural characters are also taken for classification, but the recent taxonomists, they have added some more, they have taken other categories like biochemical markers, and molecular markers are also taken for classification of the genus Citrus, and phylogenomic data is also taken for classification Citrus to overcome the confusion which was faced by the earlier taxonomies. So this is the list of the scientists, that is taxonomists or botanists who are involved in classification of genus. I want to add one more point here. One is actually the first scientist who started classification of citrus is Ferrari in 1646. He was the first one to classify the genus Citrus. So among these scientists, they have classified genus Citrus with a different number of species. So among these classifications, two are very important, and these two are very distinct, very different taxonomic systems. One is Tanaka in Japan, and another one is Swingle in the United States. Both the systems are still widely used by the citrus scientific community. And here you can see the Tanaka is go on adding the species in the genus Citrus. So in 1941, he has classified genus Citrus with 128 species, but in 1979, he has increased the species in citrus, that is 142 species he added in the genus Citrus. And another important scientist we want to mention here is D.J. Maberly. He was the one who classified the recently, especially the edible fruits of edible citrus of genus Citrus, and he used the phylogenomic data for classification of citrus, and he classified genus Citrus with only 3 true citrus species. So he is the person who is involved in classification of genus Citrus, which the classification, the citrus classification of Swingle is more widely used even till today. Walter Tennyson Swingle, he is an American botanist. He created several interspecific or intergeneric hybrids in citrus. He created Citron, which is a hybrid of sweet orange and trifoliate orange. Both are Citrus sinensis and Poinsettias trifoliate. Both are intergeneric hybrids. And he also assigned generic names to kumquats, like Fortunella. He has named it as Fortunella. And he also named separate genus for native Australian citrus types as Microcitrus and Hermocitrus. He also author of a book that is Botany of Citrus and its Wild Relatives, published in 1943. He classified the genus Citrus into 16 species. So he was another taxonomist, T.J. Tanaka. He is a Japan scientist. He wrote several books, like 180 botanical names in the citrus family Rutaceae, and he also wrote the citrus fruits of Japan and species problem in citrus. And he also published a book, Tanaka's Encyclopedia of Edible Fruits, and he divided genus Citrus into 162 species. So if you see the comparison of these two systems of classifications, so Swingle system of that is classification is very simple, and it is easily understandable, very simple. Whereas in Tanaka's system of classification, it's very difficult because he made genus Citrus into several species, into 162 species. And Swingle is called as lumper. Lumper means he is the person who gave more importance to the similarities than the differences in the classification. That means, so if he thought it is similar to any kind, he grouped them into one group. That's why he grouped several kinds of citrus into 16 species only. Whereas Tanaka is a splitter because he classifies the genus Citrus because he has given more importance to the differences than the similarities. So even if you find any small difference or variation in that type, he has given a separate species name. So this is the flow chart. I think you can see in the slides. Single system of classification. It is in 1943. He has classified genus Citrus into two subgenuses, that is Papeda and Citrus. In Papeda also there are two sections, but I have not shown here. Two sections. One is Papeda section, and then another one is U Papeda. In Papeda section there are two species. First 1 and 2. That is hello. Citrus cangensis and Citrus latipus. And U Papeda genus contains 4 species, that is Citrus macrantha, Citrus celibica, Citrus macrophylla, and Citrus hystrix. So all these species are inedible fruits, but they are very easily compatible with other species of the other genus, the subgenus also. Then coming to U Citrus, there he has classified or described this subgenus with 10 species, that is Citrus tachybina, which is known as Tachybina orange, and then Citrus medica and Citrus lemon. I have given the common names in the brackets. So another one is Citrus reticulata, that is Mandarin orange, Citrus Indica, that is the Indian wild orange, Citrus Maxima, Pomelo, Citrus paradise, Grapefruit, Citrus aurantifolia, and Citrus sinensis, and Citrus aurantium, that is sour orange. So if you see the particular characters of this subgenus U Citrus, the species which are belong to this subspecies all are edible fruits because they won't present any oil droplets or acrid oil content in the pulp vesicles. And other important feature of this group is this subgenus is petioles. So generally the petioles will have narrow wings or wingless. If at all they have any broader wing, so the petiole wings will never be as broad as leaf blades. They are always smaller than the leaf blade, and flowers will have, or flowers are large and fragrant. And if you see the stamens, they are cohering in the bundles. So this is the Papadeae. So you can observe the photograph which I have mentioned in the U Citrus. So it is the peculiar character in this Papadeae group is all are inedible fruits because they contain numerous droplets of acrid oil in the pulp vesicles. And another difference is the petiole wings petioles are very long and they are broadly winged, and sometimes they are as broad as leaf blade. So you can see the petiole wings are as broad as the leaf blade. And here stamens are usually free, and the flowers are also small. So flowers and fruits are also small in size compared to U Citrus. Then coming to Tanaka's classification, as we have already studied that Tanaka system of classification is very difficult because he classified genus Citrus into 2 subgenuses and 8 sections and 13 subsections, 8 groups and 2 subgroups, and in total 145 species. So this is the flow chart for Tanaka's system of classification. This is here he classified in 157 species. You can see this. He has divided genus Citrus into 2 subgenuses. That is Archicitrus 1, and second one is Metasitrus. So this Archicitrus again contains 5 sections: Papadeae, Limonellus, Citrophorum. So again, this Papadeae will contain 12 species and Limonellus with 16 species. Citroforum with 21 species, and Citrocephalus with 21 species, and Aurantium with 28 species. Whereas Metacitrus, again, it was divided into 3 subsections, that is Osmocitrus with 9 species, Acromen with 36 species, and Pseudofortunella with 1 species. So, whereas both Swingle and Tanaka, they have they have considered 2 other genus which are close to genus Citrus, that is Fortunella and Poincerus. So both are similar in this way, but whereas the genus Citrus, Tanaka's type of classification is different from Swingle's classification. So here, if you observe, so as we studied that Swingle is a lumper, so he thought that if you take example lemon, so he thought some of the hybrids, he thought that they are belonging to lemon hybrids. But whereas Tanaka given a separate species name to that. If you take Mayer lemon hybrid, Swingle considered it as a lemon hybrid, but Tanaka gave that as a Citrus jamberi, which is a rough lemon, usually used as a rootstock. Similarly, Rangapur line, he thought as a hybrid of lemon, but Tanaka gave it as a special species name, that is Citrus Lemonia. And similarly, in Ponderosa Larian lemon hybrid, he has given a species name as Citrus pyriformis. And coming to sour limes, that is acid limes, here also Tanaka thought Tahati lime and sweet lime of India as cultivars of sour limes, but he has given a separate species name. Tanaka has given as Citrus latifolia for Tahati lime and Citrus Lymatoids for sweet lime of India. And Citrus Macrophylla, Swingle not at all considered it as a lime fruit, but he has categorized this in the sour lime group. Tanaka classified this in sour limes group. And another important comparison, if you observe between Swingle and Tanaka, Swingle classified Mandarin group into 3 species only, that is Citrus Reticulata, Citrus Tachibna, and Citrus Indica. But Tanaka included 36 species in the Mandarin group. So some of the examples I have given here. Citrus, that is Satsuma mandarins. He considered as a cultivar of mandarin, but he has given, Tanaka given this as a Citrus Anshu. Like Ponkan mandarins, Tanaka brought under Citrus Reticulata species, and Dancy mandarins, Tanaka gave him Citrus Tangerina, and Cleopatra mandarin, he named it as Citrus Reshni, and Clementine mandarin, he has given as Citrus Clementina, and willow leaf, he named it as Citrus Deliciosa. Similarly, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Then King Tangur is Swingle thought it as a hybrid cultivar of mandarin, but Tanaka gave that variety as a species name, Citrus nobilis, like a Temple Tangur as a Citrus Temple, and Kalamandin as Citrus madurensis, and Yujo as Citrus junos. So this is about even another important character is even if you observe sweet oranges, Swingle recognized only 1 species in sweet orange, that is Citrus sinensis, whereas Tanaka described this group with 12 species. That is the difference between Swingle and Tanaka system of classification. And moreover, another problem in Swingle system of classification is he does not recognize the hybrid nature of very important horticulture fruits like sweet orange, sour orange, and grapefruit, lemon, and lime. So that is the problem with Swingle's classification. Then coming to another classification, that is Huxon classification. He grouped genus Citrus into 4 horticulture groups, and he added acid groups, that is 5 species in acid groups, that is Citrus medica, that is Citron, lemon, rough lemon, sweet lime, and Citrus Lymatoids. Then in oranges, he added only 2 species, that is Citrus aurantium and Citrus sinensis. And in the Mandarin groups, 3 species were added, that is Citrus Reticulata, Citrus Anshu, and Citrus Debilis. And in Pomelo group, he added only 2 species, that is Citrus Paradisei and Citrus Maxima. This is known as Pomelo. Earlier, Pomelo is called as Citrus Grandis, but later on it was renamed as Citrus Maxima. This is also known as Shadok. So this is why there was a lot of confusion in taxonomy of the genus Citrus, and why it is controversial or complex or confusing for the earliest taxonomists is the reasons is one is broad morphological diversity present in the genus Citrus, and second one is it has extraordinary compatibility with within the genus for development of interspecific hybrids and also within the genera. So there is possibility of development of natural hybridization. So because of that, so many natural hybrids were originated, and later on, because of the partial apomixis character, I think you all know that apomixis. Apomixis means formation of a plant from a seed without fertilization. That is, the plant will be developing from vegetative embryo, not by zygotic embryo. Because of that, what happens? Whatever natural hybrid originated, because of presence of this partial apomixis, so that hybrid population was increased with the same phenotype because of presence of that is polyembryonic. So this apomixis, what happened? It fixes and amplifies that complex structure of that hybrid, and because of the seedling propagation, so it has gone increasing the population of the trees with the similar phenotypes. So this has created a confusion in the taxonomists. So they have not considered as a hybrid origin. So they have given a new species name to those hybrids. So that is the problem with the previous taxonomist. But more recently, because of the advance in technology, as I have already told, D.J. Maberly, he was the person most recently, he is involved in classification of edible citrus in 97, 98, 2004. He tried to integrate the new phylogenetic knowledge for classification of citrus. He was a modern botanist. He has his way of classification of genus citrus is very interesting with new views. He has studied the relationship between the two citrus types, and what happened? The Swingle, where Swingle has given a separate genus to Microcitrus and Hermocitrus, but he has assigned all these species into the genus Citrus. So he has included in the genus Citrus, and based on his classification, he stated that there are only 3 citrus species, that is 2 citrus species, from which all the other citrus types were originated. So what are they? They are Citron, that is Citrus medica, and second one is Citrus maxima, that is Pomelo, and third one is Citrus reticulata, that is Mandarin. So he, based on the phylogenomic data, these 3 are the ancestral taxa, are true citrus species among the edible citrus groups, which are involved in origin of other several hybrids by natural hybridization. So if you observe the Maberly's classification, so Citrus medica, that is Citron is involved in the several hybrid origin. So you can see here Citrus Lemon, that is nothing but lemon. Both these two, then second one is Citrus Lemon is evolved as a cross between Citron and sour orange. So other similar hybrids were also originated with the same cross, that is Citron and sour orange. They are Palestina sweet lime and Valkamir lemon. And another cross is Citrus into gemberry, so which is known as rough lemon. But because of this phylogenomic data, it was observed that it is a natural hybrid between Citron and Mandarin. So other hybrids from the same cross is Rangapur lime and Mandarin lime. Similarly, Citrus aurantifolia, which are known as Mexican limes or acid limes, it was thought to be originated by natural hybridization between Citron, lemon, and also Citrus ecangensis. Similarly, Citrus bergamia, that is bergamot, this is also developed or originated by a cross between Citron and sour orange. So all these confusions are cleared because of the phylogenetic data. Then Citrus maxima, pomelo is also involved in several crosses, natural crosses. So one is Citrus aurantium. Actually, it is not a true species. Okay. It is originated. It is originated from a cross between pomelo and the pomelo is nothing but Citrus maxima and Mandarin. So that is known as sour orange. The same cross is involved even in origin of the sweet oranges, that is Citrus sinensis. But the difference here is in the sour orange, there is more features are inherited from pomelo than Mandarin. Whereas in sweet orange, more characters or features are inherited from Mandarin than pomelo. Then another hybrid origin of grapefruit, that is Citrus paradises, from pomelo and sweet orange. So this is the classification. This is the where the Citrus maxima is involved in origin of the other secondary citrus species. Then coming to Citrus reticulata, so another true citrus species is Reticulata, and he has mentioned all these, that is tangerine, mandarin, satsuma, clementine, all are as a cultivars of Citrus reticulata. This is Maberly's classification. But even there are some of the other recent scientists have pointed out some problems in even Maberly's classification also. Where View and his co-workers in 2018, they stated that whatever cultivars he brought under Citrus reticulata are not pure Citrus reticulata, but they are introgressed by Citrus maxima. So what is introgression? So introgression is nothing but it is a transfer of genetic information from one species to the another as a result of hybridization between both the species and repeated backcrossing of one of the parent species. So because of repeated backcrossing of Citrus maxima, so they are not true Citrus reticulata. So based on their phylogenomic studies, they stated that these varieties has to be treated as Citrus aurantium rather than Citrus reticulata. So this is one of the statement given for Maberly's classification. Coming to another observation in the Maberly's classification was actually Maberly has treated rough lemon as Citrus titensis, but he has proposed two potential origins for origin of this rough lemon. So one is Citrus reticulata and Citrus medica, and other one he thought is Citrus reticulata or Citrus. His co-workers, they agreed for the first hypothesis. That means rough lemon was originated with a natural hybridization between Citrus reticulata and Citrus medica. And another error which was noticed in Maberly's classification by the other scientists, recent scientists, that cut in 2016 and View et al. In 2018 is the origin of Citrus aurantifolia, which was proposed by Maberly, is not correct. That is Citrus ecangensis in Citrus maxima is not correct. And they mentioned that it is a cross between Citrus micrantha and Citrus medica. So the Citrus micrantha is also a true citrus species which belongs to Papidae genus, Papidae subgenus. So this is the problems that is identified in the Maberly's classification. But overall, whatever Maberly done is a good foundation where he has utilized very robust data of phylogenomic data was applied for his classification. So finally, there are, so in total, there are 4 true citrus species which are involved in origin of secondary citrus species. That is Citrus maxima, we can call it as pomelo, Citrus medica, that is Citron. In Telugu, we call it as Madhi phalam, which is having several medicinal values. We will discuss in the later slides. And Citrus reticulata, variety Austria, this is also a true citrus type. And then Citrus micrantha, that is variety Microcarpa. So these 4 are the ancestral genuses present in citrus species. These are the ancestral true species. So this figure explains how the major secondary citrus species were originated based on the phylogenomic data. And they also mentioned paternal and maternal ancestors for origin of that secondary citrus species. So I will explain some of them. You can see here. So acid lime, that is Citrus orantifolia. Here, this is originated the cross between Citrus micrantha, which acted as a female parent, and Citrus medica as a male parent. So whereas Citrus lemon, that is lemon, this is proposed to be originated from sour orange as female parent and medica as the male parent. Similarly, paradise, which is grapefruit, where the Maxima acted as a female parent and Citrus sinensis acted as a male parent. So, so because of this phylogenomic data, it is clearly understood how the secondary genus Citrus was originated. Then this is also similar type of pictorial figure. So here also you can see these are all ancestral taxa, that is Citrus macrantha, medica, reticulata, and maxima. You can see the figures. This is a female symbol and this is a male symbol, and they have drawn the lines. What are the hybrid origin from these 2 parents? So as we have already studied in the previous slides, so this is Citrus medica and Citrus reticulata, both are having same parents for origin of this Rangapur lime, Valkamer lemon, Katta lime, that is Citrus karna, and rough lemon. But the proportion of the genes from Citrus medica and reticulata might have created diversity in these species. So similarly, you can see here, there is a Tahati lime, which is triploid, which was originated from lemon as a female parent, and Mexican lime, that is orantifolia, is male parent. And here you can see lemon and Citrus lemita was originated from Citrus medica as a male parent and Citrus orange as a female parent. So it clearly indicates how these other secondary species were originated from ancestral true citrus species. So this is about classification, and we will see the characteristics of the different kinds of the citrus now. I will go very briefly so that one is acid group. We have already worldwide groups are acid groups, sweet orange groups, pomelo and grapefruit groups, and mandarin group. So in acid group, Citrus medica is under acid group. It is one of the original citrus types, and which is involved in natural hybridization and also artificial hybridization. The main point here is it is indigenous to native to India, and it's a monoembryonic. It was used as by Hebrews in several religious ceremonies, and its peel was candied, and it was in Telugu we call it as Madhi phalam, generally used for making medicines for digestion, Ayurvedic medicines. Then there are several varieties in Citron, that is Buddha, hand citron, then dynamite, Coruscant, and Ithrog. So they have very distinct aroma, and generally earlier these leaves and fruits are used as moth repellent. And this Buddha hand citron is also known as fingered citron. It is mostly popular in Japan, and it is used for offering in temples. And earlier it was used to make insect repellent and perfumery. So these are photographs of the Coruscant variety of citron, and this is Ithrog. It is having a thick peel will be there, and the size of the fruit is also large. And another species in citrus acid group is Citrus lemon. I think you observed this. I have not mentioned a cross in between citrus and lemon, but now the recent taxonomists are mentioning the species, the secondary species as citrus into lemon, citrus into Aurantifolia, like that. So it indicates that they are secondary origin species. So we all know that lemon is more popular for its juicy content, and popular varieties in lemon are Lisbon and Eureka. So peculiar feature is it is in usually oval and oblong in shape, and it will have a nipple at the base of the fruit. This will differentiate it from acid limes. So Eureka and Eureka lemons and other Lisbon lemons. And in India, there are 4 varieties were released in lemon, 3 from Pantnagar University, that is Pant Lemon 1, 2, 3. And another lemon variety released is from Punjab Agricultural University, Ludhiana, that is lemon PAU selection. So then citrus Aurantifolia, that is acid limes or sour limes. They are the fruits, if you see, the peel is very adherent to, and it cannot be easily separable. And most of the acid lime fruit plants will be a small perennial evergreen tree, and they are irregularly branched, and they will have very sharp spines. And it is mostly used for their juice, which is very acidic. And Citrus Aurantifolia, that is 4 limes. So several varieties are released from different institutions. So first one from our university, Dr. Y.S.R. Horticulture University, 2 promising acid lime varieties were released, that is citrus acid lime from Citrus Research Station Petlur, where I am working now. And second one is Balaji, which was also earlier known as Tenali, which was released from Citrus Research Station Tirupati, which is an ASRP center for citrus. These 2 varieties of acid lime are became more popular in Andhra Pradesh, not only in Andhra Pradesh. It was getting more popularity in Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. And recently, this Citrus Research Station Tirupati, scientists have included this Petlur acid lime even in national ASRP multi-location trials to see the performance of this variety also. And other varieties released from are NRCC acid lime 7 and 8. These 2 were released from CCRI Nagpur. And then PDKV acid lime Bahar and PDKV acid lime Chakradhar. These 2 were released from PDKV Akola, and Vikram and Pramalini were released from Marathwada Agriculture University, Parbani. And Sai Sharbati and Pule Sharbati was released from MPKV Rahuri. And another variety, Jaidev, which is also known as PKM1, released from Periakulam Research Station of Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. And 2 varieties from IRA New Delhi, that is Pusa Udit and Pusa Abhinav. They are released from New Delhi. Then coming to Pusa Rasraj, that is an inter-specific hybrid released from IIHR Bangalore. It was crossed between Nepali round lemon and acid lime. So among them, this Petlur acid lime and Balaji are canker tolerant. Even NRC acid lime 7 and 8 are also mentioned as a canker tolerant. even fruits are rasras. Generally, this hybrid was released based on canker tolerance only. This Nepal oblong is a tolerant, resistant variety for acid canker. So these are the two promising acid lime varieties released from our university. Both are canker tolerant, both are high yielders, and acid lime Petlur acid lime is having a cluster bearing habit and very juicy, and rind thickness is also compared to Balaji, it was thick, and that's why this Petlur acid lime is having very good keeping quality while during the transit. So these are the two promising varieties. Then coming to other group in acid, other species in acid group is Citrus latifolia, which is known as Tahti lime or Persian limes. They are triploid and triploid, so they won't produce a viable pollen. So generally they are seedless, and they are also known as large fruited acid limes. It was thought to be a hybrid between lime and lemon, and it is more resistant to pest and diseases and also unfavorable conditions, and it is a late variety. Then another one is Citrus Lymatoids, that is known as Meetha Nimbu or Sharbati or sweet lime. So this is also indigenous to India. It's a highly polyembryonic, mostly used as rootstock, and it is also grown to some extent for its non-acidic fruits, and they are thornless and it flowers year round. They are also juicy and seedless. And these are the photographs of sweet lime, Citrus Lymatoides. Then another group in this acid, another species in the acid group is Citrus lemita, also known as lemon of the Mediterranean. So there is one variety that is milk sweet lemita, which was a low acid Mediterranean variety. So earlier, the sailors used to eat this fruit for their vitamin C content to overcome the scurvy disease. And it is mostly used as rootstock in Palestine. And if you observe, the new growth of leaves and blossoms will be having a purple color. And you can observe here, there is a prominent nipple at the base of the fruit, and it was surrounded by a areolar furrow is there. Then Citrus jamberi, this is rough lemon. So it is one of the world's principal rootstock. Even in our India also, it is used as a rootstock. But the citrus scientists are recommending that not to use this as a rootstock for sweet orange, and because it is more susceptible to Phytophthora and it won't contain the drought tolerance. But still, some of the private nurseries are using this as a rootstock, and it affects the cyan fruits, and it makes thickened fruits and coarseness, and it will reduce. It will have the fruits grafted on this rootstock will have low sugar and acid content. Then coming to Citrus karna, this is also known as karnakatta. It is also indigenous to India. Petiole wings are very prominent, and it is also mostly used as rootstock, especially in North India. Then another one in acid group is Citrus Lemonia, also known as Rangapur lime. It is native to India. It is also used as a valuable rootstock, especially for sweet oranges in Andhra Pradesh. This is the popular rootstock or recommended rootstock because of its deep root system. It can be used for drought tolerance, and it can withstand several diseases and tolerant to Phytophthora and also Tristida virus. And it is hardier than other lemons, and it is considered as a hybrid between Mandarin and lemon. It will exhibit more characters of Mandarin. So Citrus Rangapur lime. Then another species is Citrus Penvisiculata, which is known as Gajanima. So there are some research works carried out in Anantraspeta and also in Petlur, and they have suggested this as a promising rootstock for acid limes. But right now we are not doing grafting or budding in acid lime because of polyembryonic nature of acid lime. So there is no need for growing budded plants because as we have studied polyembryonic means, so the seedlings highest 70% polyembryonic percent is there in acid lime. So the seedlings will have same parent characters. So there is no need for budded plants in acid lime. So this Gazinima was a very good rootstock for acid lime, but major problem here is it is susceptible to gummosis. And if you observe the aroma of the crushed leaves, it will have eucalyptus or ginger aroma you can get, and mostly used for making pickles. It is also native to India. Then coming to orange group. So in this group, the first and foremost is Citrus rantium, sour orange, or it is also known as bitter orange. If you see, it is the world's principal rootstock because of its hardiness to cold and resistant to several diseases, and it will it will also influences fruit quality, excellent fruit quality. But major problem here is it is susceptible to Tristija. That's why it was banned as a rootstock nowadays. Otherwise, it is having very good characters. But right now, I think in Citrus Research Station, Tirupati, and they are doing research work on rootstocks, and they came up with one type of rootstock, that is Australian sour orange. Maybe it will become a good rootstock in future days. And then the flowers of this are used for as a perfumery purpose, that is oil of neroli. And here, if you see, what is the distinguishing characters of sour orange with sweet orange? One is petiole wings. So sweet orange, you will have narrow wings, whereas in Citrus aurantium, you will have broad winged. And the other character is the central axis. That is, the central axis is hollow in sour orange, whereas it is solid in sweet orange. And as usual, the taste itself, it is sweet and it is sour. The name itself indicates. And this is the Australian sour orange. So sorry, it is sour orange. This is bitter orange. Then coming to the most important dominant fruit in of citrus industry is sweet orange. It is mostly used for fresh fruit and also processing. And there are four kinds of sweet oranges, or four groups of sweet oranges in four groups. That is common oranges, acidless oranges, pigmented oranges, navel oranges. Common oranges are this Jaffa, Valencia, and Hamlin. Even our Satgudi comes under common oranges. That means they are of there is no any variation in the pulp. They are yellow pulped oranges. Then acidless oranges. That means they will have very less acid content. Example is Mosambik. And pigmented oranges. So here the sweet oranges will have a blood red color, or they will have a blood red color streaks in the pulp vesicles. Then another one is navel oranges, where you will see a presence of navel at the apical part of the fruit. So example, one of the variety belongs to this is Washington navel. And sweet orange is commercially cultivated in India. If you take Punjab, where the popular commercial varieties grown in Punjab is pineapple, Jaffa, and blood red Malta. Actually, in Punjab, in North India, in Punjab, sweet oranges are called as Malta, where in Andhra Pradesh we call it as some area we call it as Chini, and some area we call it as Battai. Like that, Punjab sweet oranges are called as Malta. And in West India, the commercial varieties grown is Mosambik. And in South India, the commercial varieties are Satgudi and Batavia. So Satgudi is the commercial variety which was very popular in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So its origin is thought to be from Satgur, from Tamil Nadu. That's why it is named as Satgudi. It is a very high juicy and high yielding variety. which is popular in Andhra Pradesh. Then Mossambi. So the name itself suggests that it is originated from Mozambique too. And the main feature here is it will have a prominent streaks on the rind and also a circular groove at the stylar end. And it is regarding quality, it was inferior than the Sathpudi. Sometimes it will be sweet, but sometimes it will become insweet because of imbalance between sugar and acid content. So it is early maturing variety. So mostly popular in Telangana and also parts of Maharashtra. Then Batavini, it is similar to sweet orange, that is Sathpudi, sorry, and it is most popular in north coastal district of state. It will develop yellow patches on green rind because of because of covering that fruit with bamboo leaves basket, and this was done to protect the fruits from fruit sucking moth. So another difference between Batavian and Sathpudi is the axis. The central axis will be solid in Sathpudi, hollow in Batavian, and with regard to quality, it is inferior in quality compared to Sathpudi. So there are other exotic varieties which are popular in worldwide. That is Hamlin, Valencia oranges are there, and blood red oranges are there. Another important feature is, so to develop the red color in sweet orange, it is mostly it is dependent on the environment. So if you grow this blood red Malta in a tropical climate where high temperatures are there, and it won't develop that red color in the fruit. But you will get a very good red color in the low temperature regions and sub-mountainous regions of Punjab, like that. Okay, these are some exotic sweet orange varieties. Then navel oranges, I have told that it will have a presence of navel at the apical part of the fruit. There are Washington navels, like that. Then coming to other group in the orange group is Citrus Mettifolia. This is also known as myrtle leaf orange. It is related to Aurantium, that is sour orange. It is cold tolerant and it's a dwarf tree, and the leaves will be it will be having a short internodes, and they are often spineless, and the leaves will be like a myrtle, like spine-like leaves. Then this is Bergamot Orange, that is Citrus Maxima. It is resembles Citrus Aurantium and lemon, and mostly used for preparation of oils. This oil is used for toilet waters and also perfumes. So this is again photographs of Bergamot Orange. And another one is Citrus Natsudaidai. This is also popular in a popular fruit in Japan. It's also known as Japanese summer grapefruit. It exhibits characters of both sour orange and Mandarin. It is hot to cold. Then pomelo and grapefruit. There are two species, that is Citrus maxima, also known as pomelo, Sheda, and Chakotra. So it is again a monoembryonic species. It is the citrus species where you will largest fruits are there in this species only among the citrus genus. And another important is they are having pulp vesicles are very large, and we can easily separate the pulp vesicles when compared to the other citrus species. So another one is it's a monoembryonic species. This is Citrus maxima. Then Citrus paradise, this is grapefruit. Generally, these fruits are used as breakfast fruits because of their highly juicy content, sweet, and the fruit size is smaller than pomelo, and the peel is also very thin compared to pomelo. It is polyembryonic. So that is the difference between pomelo and grapefruit. Pomelo is a monoembryonic, whereas grapefruit is a polyembryonic. And another important character is when the fruits will have very sweetness, but you will get a bitter taste after eating the complete fruit. So you will have a bitter taste in the last. Then these are there are several exotic types, and here also you will have yellow type, that is white type grapefruits and red type grapefruits. Then coming to another group, that is the Mandarin group. This Mandarin groups, also known as loose-skinned oranges, also known as Santhra of India, Citrus Reticulata. Here, they are highly polyembryonic in nature, and this Citrus reticuli species is a Chinese origin, and fruits are easily peeled. So it will have a loose peel and easily detachable segments. And for example, in this species, the cultivar in this is Nagpur Santhra. I think it has got a GI indication from Nagpur. It is very sweet and very prominent fruit among this group. Then coming to another group, another species in Mandarin is Citrus anshu, which is known as Satsuma mandarins. It is polyembryonic and Japanese origin. This fruit is seedless with thin rind and is very juicy. It is popular in Japan. Satsuma mandarin of Japan is an important cultivar in Japan. And another one is Citrus anshu, that is Satsuma mandarin. This is a photographs of that fruit. Then coming to another group, another species in the Mandarin group, Citrus Deliciosa, which is of Mediterranean origin. It is also known as willow leaf of Mandarin. It is one of the parent in Kinno Mandarin. So the trees are having drooping habit. It is the fruits is strongly compressed, and other cultivars are Wilking and Kinno. Then coming to Citrus nobilis, also known as King Mandarin, it is a polyembryonic species native to Indochina. Other cultivars are King Orange of USA and Konimbo of Japan, and it is mostly cultivated in some parts of Assam. It's prolific bearer and frost resistant. The fruit will have rough surface and bumpy surface. And this is also same King Tangur or King Mandarins. Then Citrus Reshni, also known as spicy mandarin or Cleopatra mandarin, they are originated from India and then later introduced to Florida. It is thornless and you will have a densy top, and it is used as a salt-tolerant rootstock. And fruits are highly aromatic, seedy and polyembryonic. Then another one is the same mandarin group is Citrus madurensis, also known as Kalamandin. It is also very hardy, and it's the very hardiest fruit in the edible citrus species. And you can see the photograph. It can be grown as an ornamental plant. Even ripe fruits can be taken as a fresh, or the fruits are also processed. And it is a promising hardy rootstock in Texas, which was used for acid, that is lime fruits. Then another one is Citrus Madras paterna, also known as Kichili and Vatlapudi orange. It is also known as Guntur sour orange because it resembles sour orange. It is known as Guntur sour orange, native to South India. Its cultivation is more confined to coastal districts of Andhra Pradesh. So it resembles sour orange, but it has larger spines, and also petiole wings are very large compared to sour orange. And then another one is Tachibna orange, Citrus Tachibna. It is a very primitive type of native citrus of Japan. It is also cold hardy and loose skin fruit. Then another one is Citrus Indica, that is Indian wild orange. It is having unpalatable loose skin fruit. It was included in Metacitrus subgenus by Tanaka, and it is found in wild state in northeastern India. Then this is about the genus Citrus. Now the species or types in Papidae genus, that is which is having winged leaf petioles with large flowers. There are two types. One is Citrus ecangensis and Citrus latipus. This ecangensis is it has a characteristic feature of lemon-scented foliage and flowers. It is monoembryonic, but it readily hybridizes with other species of citrus, and it is evergreen and also cold hardy. Then another one is Kasi papeda, that is Citrus latipus. It is found in northeastern India, Kasi Hills, and northern Burma. It is also cold hardy and mostly similar to ecangensis, but it has a thicker peel and more variable leaves than compared to Citrus ecangensis. Then other types in are U papidae is the difference is here the flower size is very small and fruits are also small. This is Citrus macrantha. We have already mentioned this name. It is one of the 4 ancestral taxa. It will have small fruits and flowers. Then come to Citrus celibica, that is known as Celibis papeda. It is also very small with a thick peeled, and it is found wild state in Karo forest and also in northern eastern Celibis forest. And Citrus macroptera, here it is also inedible fruits, and juice and pulp are used for washing the hair, because the macerated leaves will form a leather when it is added to water. So it can be used as substitute for soap in washing the cloths. It is grown wild in Thailand, Indochina, Philippines, and Fiji, and also other many Polynesian islands. Then another one is Citrus hystrix, that is Kafir lemon. So you can see the photograph. You can see very bumpy and warty fruit of papeda type. And it is very popular ingredient in Thai dishes. Then Citrus Macrophylla, that is also known as alimo. I think we all know that it is a promising rootstock of citrus. It is thought to be a hybrid of Celibis papeda with pomelo, that is Citrus maxima. So if you see the advantages of alimo as a rootstock, it is resistant to Phytophthora, flood tolerant, blight tolerant, drought tolerant, exocartis tolerant also, and it influences cyan by giving high yields, large fruit size, high vigor, alkalinity tolerant, and also a good salt tolerance. But major problem here is it is susceptible to Tristija, nematode, and it is less tolerance to blight and cold tolerance. So that is the problem with this alimo. Now it is also involved in rootstock studies in citrus. Then coming to other genus other than citrus, that is Fortunella. This name was given by Swingle to the kumquats, but later on Maberly has included this in citrus. That's why he has given Citrus japonica name instead of Fortunella. So there are 4 types: Fortunella margarita, japonica, crassiflora, and Kinsey. So based on the shapes, they are known as oval kumquats, round kumquats. These are the fruits which can be eaten fresh as mouth refreshments. So the entire fruit can be eaten along with the peel. So Citrus japonica, actually it is the kumquats are name came from Chinese name, the chincan, that means gold orange. Fresh kumquats, that is eaten as raw or as a whole. So, or we can preserve it in a whole fruit in the sugar syrup. So these canned kumquats are exported to Taiwan, and where exported from Taiwan, where it was used as in restaurants, Chinese restaurants. Then coming to oval kumquats, also known as naga or nagami, kinkin of Japan. It is Israel is the biggest producer of this nagami kumquats to the European markets. Then comes to Swingle japonica, Citrus japonica, Moromi, round kumquats. At the name itself, it will be round, but the rind will be thinner and somewhat sweeter. Then coming to Miwa kumquat, which was thought to be a natural hybrid between oval kumquats and round kumquats. It is a best quality kumquat which can be eaten as a fresh. Then this is wild, that is Fortunella hinsi. It is known as a wild kumquat, that is Hong Kong kumquat. It is found wild in Hong Kong and also some crops of China. So the hybrid, that is intergeneric hybrid developed by Swingle by using kumquat as a parent, that is lime kumquats. Here Mexican lime was crossed with kumquat, that is Fortunella kumquat. This was done by Swingle. Then this is Citron. Generally, you can observe it. Whenever you use trifoliate orange, the hybrids are named as Citron or Citron like that. And if you use kumquats, you will get quat as a suffix. So here this cross was made by Swingle to develop a cold hardiness rootstock. So he has used kumquats and trifoliate orange, both are cold hardiness. And the tree is very vigorous and it is having value as a rootstock. It was also made by Swingle. Then the other genus is Poinsettias trifoliate. As I was told earlier also, Swingle has given a separate species name as Poinsettias trifoliate, but later on Maberly has combined this even into the genus Citrus and he has named it as Citrus trifoliate. So it is indigenous to Central and North China, and it is having it's a peculiar character here is it is trifoliate. So it will have a trifoliate leaves, and other than genus Citrus where it is unifoliate. And another important character is most of the citrus trees are evergreen, whereas Poinsettias trifoliate is deciduous trees. That's why it is more hardy to cold. So another thing is it is mostly used as rootstock in the areas where frost is a problem, like Japan, China, United States, and Russia. And the dry fruits are as having medicinal value is there. So, so another important character here is the trifoliate orange will have small leaf buds and large scale covered flower buds. Because of that only, they can have highest degree of cold hardiness. And if you see the advantages as a trifoliate orange as a rootstock, it is very good characters. It is Phytophthora resistant, nematode resistant, Tristigia immune, cold tolerant, and it's also tolerant to waterlogging conditions. And it also affects the quality of the fruit. It will compact tree stature to the cyan. But major problem here is it cannot withstand exocartis and also drought sensitive, calcareous sensitive, and salinity sensitive, and it cannot withstand high pH and high acidic soils. So even it is a very good rootstock in most parts of the country world. And another thing is it may be used as a direct rootstock, or because of the resistant characters, it is also included in development of the new rootstocks by rootstock breeding. So new rootstock hybrids. So that is the major research going on citrus, development of rootstocks hybrids. So one of the important variety in trifoliate orange is flying dragon. I think you all remember this is a dwarfing rootstock of citrus. It is mostly used as rootstock for potted plants because you graft any scion on the flying dragon, the tree stature will be very small and it never demand larger spaces. So, but the rootstock fruits are not having any economical value. It's inedible and don't have any culinary use. But the fruits born on this rootstock will be small, but having a good quality. Then, up to 1984, it was thought that Poinsettias that in genus Poinsettias there is only monospecific genus, that is the Poinsettias trifoliate. But in 1984, a new species was identified belonging to the Poinsettias, that is Poinsettias polyndra. So this is also having immunity to citrus Tristigia and resistance to Phytophthora. The difference between trifoliate, that is Poinsettia trifoliate and Poinsettia polyndra is, this Poinsettia polyndra is a evergreen tree. So it is evergreen tree compared to this trifoliate orange. So these are some that is how the citrus hybrids were developed with the different genuses and trifoliate. This I think you have came. So this is about different kinds of citrus and types of citrus. So let us come to the conclusion. So here I want to say that so this classification of citrus genus is long been debated by the taxonomist, but because of the reticulate evolution combined with partial apomixis, which has led to very different classification systems. So that why it was confusion created in the earlier taxonomist. So what is reticulate evolution means? It is an evolutionary process which involves exchange of genes between the organisms of different species and later on formation of the new species through hybridization. So that is the secondary citrus species developed because of the natural hybridization. So which has created confusion, and they have given a separate species name for them. And so that's why the earlier classifications are very difficult due to lacking of this genomic data. But in the recent years, because of use of phylogenomic data, it is able to reveal the origins and admixtures of the modern citrus cultivars and also its wild types. So it also provided unambiguous conceptual framework for citrus classification because of this phylogenomic and genetic data. But still, there is a need for whole genome sequence studies so that we can establish a definitive classification of citrus, which is agreeable to one and all. So, but because of the advance of technology, it is also possible. Thank you for giving this opportunity. And these are some of the references. Those who are interested in taxonomy of citrus,
thank you, madam.
They can refer these references. And thank you very much. Thanks to the audience who are patiently listening this topic. Thank you very much. And once again, thanks to organizers for giving me this topic. And also I will be thankful to the Honorable Vice Chancellor Janikaram sir for his idea of this program, that is citrus graduation program, which is very useful to students and also other persons who are involved in citrus cultivation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Very elaborative information, madam. Nowadays, we are seeing the number of citrus varieties of different size, different color, different, even in the markets also, we are seeing different types of fruits that are exotic fruits are also coming into the market. This information is very useful for identification purpose, and also those who are involved in research for PG students from Department of Fruit Science. It is a very useful lecture, madam, for taking up any rootstock studies or dwarfing studies or any development of new varieties in hybridization work, if they want to involve in development of varieties. It is very, very useful lecture, madam. Nice photographs, and that basic varieties, basic citrus genera that are involved in development of different varieties, that diagrammatic representation. I think for the participants of this today's webinar, it will give clear idea about how different scientists, Swingle, Tanaka, and that scientist Maberly, how they are taking the basic consideration. What are the basic consideration that they have taken, depending on the similarities, depending upon the variation, differences, how this basic information It is very useful for the participants of today's session, madam. Thank you so much, madam, for elaborative and preparation of PPT, including all photographs and names, genus, species, names, and development of different species. Thank you so much, madam, for giving elaborative lecture, madam. Thank you so much. Now I request participants to involve in discussion, or if they have any queries, if they can interact.
Ma'am, please share your PPT.
Sure. I will share the PPT. I will give my email ID. You send an email ID to me. I will give my email ID.
Ma'am, in chat box, if it is given.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Madam, does leaf character influences fruit character, ma'am? Like we have trifoliate, in some cases we have trifoliate, and some are winged, double winged petioles. Does that character influences fruit quality?
Maybe directly there will not be any relation, but because of the size of the leaf and based on the presence of the chlorophyll content and orientation of that leaves, they may have influence on fruit quality, because the interception of light based on the that is a canopy density of the leaves are. So canopy is nothing but leaves and orientation of the stems and all. So because of that character, it will influence the yield.
Ma'am, like how many varieties in total we have? Like from your lecture, we have seen a lot of number of varieties which are cultivated all over the world.
So
But
Tanaka itself given 162 species means 162 varieties.
yes,
Even more. I have not given. Maberly has given few species names to Australian acid limes, like finger lime is there. So I have not included that photo. That Petlur character in Australian limes, that is 2 types. I could not think Australian types. They will have finger lime. See, the pulp vesicles are separated. They are not coherent. So they will be easily separable. So it is useful for making the juice extraction.
Mainly in India, how many are, like rough estimation of how many are cultivated, ma'am?
Cultivated is very few. Sweet oranges are cultivated, mandarins are cultivated,
Yes.
And acid limes are cultivated. These 3 are commercial in our country.
India.
And few patches lemon is also cultivated, and few patches grapefruit and pomelo. Especially North India, they are cultivating the grapefruits in the more area like Punjab.
But thank you, ma'am. Actually, it was very colorful, and we are all into world of citrus, and we have seen many different varieties of and species or different classification of lemon. For the first time, we are seeing in this lecture. Thank you so much. And students, if you have any questions, you can ask, ma'am.
So in UG and PG, we are only dealing with only citrus, Swingle and Tanaka. But in the research, recent researches, we should add we have to add the new information of classification in the course outline also.
Okay. If not any queries, shall I proceed with the vote of thanks, ma'am? Swaralakshmi, Srinivaslu sir. Our Associate Dean sir is here.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Madhumathi garu, for your excellent, the lecture today you have given for the students. I think, sorry, I could not able to attend your program because of other engagements here. I was busy with the staff meeting here. That's why I could not able to attend. But after hearing the remarks of our Dr. Sirisha garu, I think it was a very wonderful, with all colorful, the presentation with good photographs I think it was very much beneficial for the students. Earlier, they would not have seen such type of, such number of varieties in citrus and oranges also. Your lecture has really benefited our students. Particularly, it's also useful information for the faculty also, because we could be able to see such number of wide variety of acid lime and sweet orange fruits, because Dr. Madhumathi has the opportunity to work in that one of the important research stations, that is CRS Petlur. I think once again, on behalf of Honorable Vice Chancellor and all university officers, faculty of College of Horticulture, Anantarajapeta, and from participant side, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Madhumathi Garu for giving an excellent guest lecture, and also for sparing your time. Almost it is a 1.5 hour time. 1.5 hour you have spent for this program. Once again, thank you, Madam, for your kind acceptance and delivering the lecture for the benefit of students here. I think if there are no questions from participant side, may I now request Dr. Sirisha to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks to the guest speaker.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
This topic is having more importance for the students who are going for competitive exams. There is a lot of chances of getting questions in this topic.
Yes.
So I think I should also thank to the Associate Dean, sir, and others, because even I have refreshed my knowledge. Otherwise, I may not read about Maberly and also other phylogenetic data. So thanks for giving this opportunity.
Yes. Most welcome, madam. Most welcome.
Yes, madam. I think that it will be useful for the students who are in final year, those who are going to appear for their JRF exam and competitive exam. They will get some points from stress classification. Actually, it is a very difficult subject, but you made it some was slides in order. They are kept in order so that they will remember easily. If they go through this presentation, they can remember the species and names and everything easily. I think it's very useful, madam, for the students. Thank you so much, ma'am.
On behalf of College of Horticulture, Anantarajapeta, and entire fraternity of the Institute, I would like to take this opportunity to propose formal vote of thanks with deep sense of gratitude to all who have helped in organizing today's session. I take this opportunity to profusely thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. T. Janigram Garu, who is a torchbearer of this event. I am also highly obliged to thank our Dean of Horticulture, Dr. A.S. Padmatama ma'am, for her continuous support and moral guidance throughout in all the activities of College of Horticulture, Anantarajapeta. I also thank the organizing committee members, Dr. R. Nagaraj sir and Dr. K.T. Venkatamana sir, for their untiring efforts in organizing the total citrus graduation program, readiness program. I thank and extend my gratitude with due respect to all our university officers for being with us and supporting us throughout the program. And with lots of gratitude, I also thank our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. C. Madhumathi ma'am, Principal Scientist and Head of Citrus Research Station, Petlur, for making excellent presentation and on citrus taxonomy and different citrus varieties. The lecture was very elaborative, informative, colorful, and it is useful for all young budding citriculturists. And an event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires like proper planning, and this has been done with the help of, as we are fortunate enough to have our beloved Associate Dean Sir, Dr. B. Srinivasulu sir, who has been a constant support and motivation throughout the program. And I also thank our dedicated senior colleagues and KSL ma'am and other teaching and non-teaching staff for their continuous support throughout the program to make it a success. Finally, I thank all the student participants. Without their presence, every program, it is effortless. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. So may I leave now?
Thank you, Dr. Madhumathi garu, once again for being with us in this Citrus Graduate Readiness Program. So far, I think we are nearing completion. I think some 3 more lectures are there. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think you were also there in this program right from the beginning. I think I have seen so many other programs also you have attended. I request you to kindly participate in other programs also, and we'll send an invitation for the final day program also. Please kindly make it convenient to attend that program also. Right, madam. Thank you very much once again. I think we can close this program, Dr. Sirish.
Yes.